A couple of days ago, I came across a group of people online who wanted to go backpacking. The trip was labeled as a beginner trip. I felt very uncomfortable being unprepared for the trip and having no experience. But hey, this was the point. I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and seek new experiences. Good morning everybody. So as you guys know from the title or if you watched the previous video, tomorrow we're going backpacking. It's gonna be my first backpacking trip ever. I'm not going to go there alone, I'll be with people, but these people will be strangers. I'll go with 9 total strangers I met on the internet. Today we're going backpacking. So it's 5 a.m. right now. I'm taking Uber to downtown Seattle. Then from downtown Seattle, I will carpool to the trailhead where we'll start hiking. I'll see you guys in downtown Seattle. So I'm at the meeting place. It's really rainy today, as you can see the ground's wet, so I won't be able to vlog much. I will narrate, and it's really loud here because I'm under a bridge. You can see it. It was a cloudy and rainy day, but that did not stop us from continuing our trip. After I met the strangers, we talked and introduced each other. We became friends right away. After all, strangers are just friends you haven't met. We drove 3 hours to the trailhead and stopped once for coffee and firewood. Slowly the nervousness started fading away. We reached the trailhead where we found even more strangers waiting for us. The rain had stopped. I was happy and excited until I saw the Be Bear Aware sign. Later, I talked to one of the experienced hikers, and he said that the last time a bear attacked a human was in 1933, so that made me feel a lot better. 20 minutes into the trail, I started feeling tired, and my clothes were getting too hot for me, so I fell behind. Luckily, one of the hikers in the group stayed behind with me and shared some of the weights I was carrying. Slowly after that, I started getting more tired every minute. There was no going back because we were in the middle of the trail, about 2 hours in. I got so tired that I could barely move my legs, and there was 1.5 hours left in the trail. When I got to the lake, I realized that I had blanked out and barely filmed anything, and don't even remember how the trail looked like. When I finally reached the lake, I was relieved and really happy. I felt like I have accomplished something impossible. So I just sat at the lake, relaxed for a bit, and I took over 100 pictures. I thought the lake was really beautiful. Check my Instagram down in the description to find the pictures. After I finished taking pictures, I sat down to eat a small meal and drink a little bit of water. Before it gets dark, we moved to a new place to set up the tents. Then we started a bonfire to keep us warm. We gathered around the bonfire, talked for a bit, and then we went to sleep. There was none of the city distractions, so the time went by real slow. 30 minutes felt like an hour. I woke up the next day and it was foggy and cold. Last night I was worried about wild animals stopping by our tents, but I was too tired, so I slept anyway. I woke up with an upset stomach, probably because of the filtered water I drank out of the lake without boiling. I changed my clothes, packed the tents, and started going back. My legs still hurt from yesterday. My stomach hurted really bad, so I did not eat anything. I took a last look at the lake and started walking back. The way back was so much easier, as it was all downhill. I didn't fall too behind, and I could enjoy the scenery of the trail. The camera started getting foggy. After around 2 hours of walking, we finally got to the car. My clothes were all muddy, so I felt bad for the driver. We started driving. My stomach was still hurting, but everyone was hungry, so we stopped for gas and then looked for a restaurant to eat in. We found a really weird restaurant. It had a table in it. Everyone ordered something. I ordered a dish with tuna in its name, and I got raw tuna. This was my first time having raw tuna. It wasn't good or bad. It didn't really taste like anything. When we were done eating, we headed back to the city. I felt really weird going back to the city. There were a lot of buildings and bridges. Okay guys, I'm finally back in the city. I learned a lot from this trip, and it was an amazing experience. I didn't use many of the things I was carrying. I learned the important lesson of minimalism, and I learned by going over my limits, I can gain a lot of awesome things, like new friends and see beautiful views.